Why the moon changes color and what's really behind it. The moon is more familiar to us than almost any other object in the night sky. And yet it surprises us again and again. Sometimes it hangs large and reddish like a glowing ball on the horizon, then again cold and silvery high above our heads. Some nights it looks almost golden, or, rarely enough, even bluish. But what is behind it? Why does the moon appear in so many colors, and what does this reveal about our Earth? The moon shines, but not by itself. But first, a small but important fact: the moon does not produce its own light. All we see of it is sunlight reflected from its surface, and this point is crucial. Because the light from the sun does not change, it is the environment that influences it. To be more precise, our atmospheric scattering is the same phenomenon as at sunset. If you have ever watched a sunset, you will be familiar with the effect. The sun appears deep red or orange in the evening sky. The reason for this is what is known as Rayleigh scattering. Shortwave light, such as blue and violet, is scattered more strongly by molecules in the air than long-wave light, such as red or orange. This means that when light from the sun, or reflected sunlight from the moon, has to travel through a thick layer of atmosphere, the blue is filtered out. What reaches us is the warm rest, and this is precisely why the moon looks so colorful, especially on the horizon. Why the moon appears orange or red on the horizon? And the closer the moon is to the horizon, the more air its light has to pass through. This longer path means more scattering, and therefore a stronger emphasis on the reddish light components. There is also a psychological effect. When the moon is low, it often appears larger to us. In combination with the warm coloring, it then appears particularly impressive, almost supernatural. Incidentally, the horizon moon has this optical illusion in common with the setting sun. And here too, it is not the moon that changes, but our perspective on it. Influence of dust, smoke, and air pollution. And in addition to the pure air density, particles in the atmosphere also play a role. After volcanic eruptions, forest fires, or heavy air pollution, the composition of the air can change drastically. These particles additionally scatter the light, but not evenly. Larger particles filter certain wavelengths, which distorts the color impression of the moon even more. This can result in the moon appearing particularly red, or unusually cloudy and diffuse. In some cases, it even creates the rare impression of a blue or grayish moon. And this brings us to one of the most fascinating moon myths: the blue moon, rare and full of meaning. When we talk about a blue moon, many people think of an optical phenomenon. In reality, however, it is usually a calendar phenomenon. When there are two full moons within a month, the second one is called the blue moon. This happens about every 2.5 years, rare enough to justify the expression once in a blue moon. But there are also real visual blue moons. However, they are extremely rare and usually the result of extraordinary environmental influences. For example, after volcanic eruptions, such as the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883, when ash and dust turned the moon blue for months, an eerie sight that was documented in reports from all over the world. Moon halo and moon rainbow, rare plays of light in the sky. In addition to the color changes, the moon sometimes also shows fascinating side effects. For example, the so-called moon halo. This phenomenon occurs when the moon's light hits ice crystals in the upper atmosphere. It is refracted and scattered in a ring around the moon. The result is a mostly bluish or white ring, still luminous and somehow mystical. Even rarer is the lunar rainbow. Just like a rainbow during the day, it is created by light refraction in water droplets. But because the moonlight is much weaker, the moon rainbow usually appears white, almost like a shadow of its colored counterpart. Sometimes, in particularly clear conditions, individual colors shimmer through. A silent, almost ghostly spectacle. Why the moon has fascinated people for thousands of years. All these phenomena show the moon is far more than just a glowing ball in the sky. Its color is a mirror, literally and figuratively. It reflects the atmosphere, the conditions on Earth, but also our perception, our emotions and myths. For thousands of years, stories have been told about the moon. It has been revered as divine, feared as an omen, described as a source of madness. And perhaps this is precisely where its magic lies. Because although we now know why the moon appears red, white, or even blue, there is still a bit of magic that cannot be fully explained. He is a familiar light with 1,000 faces, so the next time you look up at the sky and the moon appears different to you than usual, then you know it's not the moon itself. It's the world between it and you. It's the air, the light, the conditions, and maybe even a little bit you. Because in the end, the moon is always the same, and yet we never see it the same.